It was supposed to be an easy night. The baby was asleep and I had the house to myself. But the baby monitor, well, that changed everything. The house was quiet. After putting baby Emily to sleep, I sat in the living room, the baby monitor by my side. The monitor crackled softly, the faint sounds of her breathing a reassuring background noise. I told myself it was going to be an easy night until I heard it. At first, it was just a faint whisper, almost like static. But then I heard it clearly, a voice. "Come closer," it said, faint and distant. My heart stopped. I stared at the monitor, expecting it to be a glitch. But when I looked at the screen, I saw the crib, and Emily still asleep. I couldn't take my eyes off the monitor. The voice whispered again, but this time it was clearer. "She's not alone." My stomach twisted. Then, in the corner of the screen, I saw it, a shadow moving near the crib, barely visible, but unmistakably there. I raced upstairs, my heart pounding. I burst into the room, flipping on the lights. There was no one. Emily was still sound asleep in her crib, but the room felt cold, unnaturally cold. I stared at the crib, my heart racing. The monitor crackled to life one last time. "I'm still here." It was a typical night of babysitting until the phone rang. What started as a simple prank call quickly became something far more sinister. I was sitting in the kitchen when the phone rang. It was an unknown number. I picked up, and there was nothing, just silence on the other end. I shrugged it off, thinking it was a prank. But then, the calls kept coming. Every few minutes, the phone would ring, and each time, the silence felt heavier. On the 6th call, I finally answered with frustration. "Who is this?" For a moment, there was silence again. But then, a low, raspy voice replied, "I'm watching you." My blood ran cold. I slammed the phone down and locked the doors, but the unease only grew stronger. I tried to calm myself, but then I heard it, footsteps from upstairs. Slow, deliberate, my heart pounded in my chest. I knew the kids were asleep, so who or what was up there? Summoning every ounce of courage, I crept upstairs. The hallway was dark, the air thick with tension. I opened the children's door, and they were gone. My heart stopped. I turned around, and that's when I saw him. A figure standing in the shadows at the end of the hall, his eyes gleaming. They told me the house was old, but they didn't tell me it was haunted. By the time I realized it, it was too late. It started with little things. The creak of the floorboards when no one was walking, the feeling of being watched even though I was alone. I tried to brush it off. It was an old house after all. But then I started hearing the whispers. Late that night, while the kids were asleep, I heard the whispers again. Faint, like they were coming from the walls. I followed the sound to the hallway, and as I listened closely, I realized they were calling my name. I backed away, my heart racing, but then I saw it, a figure at the end of the hallway. A woman, her face pale and gaunt, her eyes hollow and black. She stared at me, unmoving, her lips whispering my name over and over. I ran back into the living room, grabbed the kids, and fled the house. But even as I drove away, I could still feel her eyes on me, still hear her whispering my name.